small cars are all of a sudden really trendy. And have you noticed that small cars are also all of a sudden really popular? But some brands you just don't associate with small cars, and Ford would be one of them, at least in Australia. But Ford has had to change all that. It'll be doing it with this, the all-new Ford Fiesta. It's a sub-$20,000 hatchback that shares many of its underpinnings with the Mazda 2. But Ford has also added its own personality with a modern look that uses Ford's kinetic design theme. You'd have to say it looks pretty good. The Fiesta was designed in Europe, so there are plenty of European influences, but the big thing with this 7th generation, the second one for Australia, is that it's now a global car. It's going all around the world, even America. The new Fiesta arrives in Australia in early 2009, where it will compete with everything from the Toyota Yaris, Mazda 2, Honda Jazz, Hyundai Getz, even the Holden Barina. So it has a mammoth task ahead of it. Ford has been pretty average at selling small cars in Australia. It's sort of known as the Falcon Car Company. This car is crucial for turning that around. One of the really impressive things is the exhaust system. It sounds sort of raughty and different. It's just not quite boring like most of these cars are. Most people will be driving this car just around town, putting up with peak hour traffic. But if you do find some nice windy country roads, and if you're lucky to get to Italy, you'll actually find that it drives pretty well. They've done a really good job of getting the balance right between ride and handling. So yes, it doesn't mind some corners, but it's also reasonably comfortable. Like all the cars it competes with, it'll get a pretty frugal 4-cylinder engine. We get the choice between two, and it's a pretty curious mix. We've got a 1.6 litre for the manual versions, or a 1.4 litre for the automatics. Now the 1.6 got 88 kilowatts. It sounds a little bit choked the more you rev it, but I'm just not sure how the 1.4 is going to go. It's got about 20% less power, and of course teamed up with an automatic transmission. One thing that's really cool to see is that Ford has taken that whole funky exterior styling and continued the theme inside. There's a really cool dash layout. It was actually inspired, the buttons were inspired by a mobile phone. The thinking was that the younger generation that will typically buy this car clearly knows how to use a mobile phone. In Australia, the Fiesta will be sold as both a 3 and a 5-door hatch, and while you wouldn't want to go cramming 3 of me across the back seat, the whole car is practical. It's got a decent sized boot, and hey, for most people, it'll do what they need. Now, of course, the big question with this car, and any car in this end of the market, is price. You have to get it right. You can expect prices to start around $16,000 to $17,000. So there it is, the all-new Ford Fiesta, which is a really impressive little package. But of course, the big question is how much will it cost? And if they can get that bit right, they should sell enough. But the bigger trick is convincing Australians that a small Ford is the right way to go. Obviously, time will tell on that one.